welcome back to my channel. Those who grow orchids should definitely watch this video until the end. There are essential care tips that need to be followed in orchid care. If you apply these, your orchid will continue to bloom and maintain its vibrant appearance. Now, what are the 7 basic care rules to keep your orchid alive from day one? Let's watch together. You bought or received an orchid as a gift. This orchid, dressed up like a bride, will maintain its vibrancy for about 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you need to start taking care of it so that your orchid continues to stay alive. This orchid, dressed up like a bride, will maintain its vibrancy for about 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you need to start taking care of it so that your orchid continues to stay alive. Remove its decorations and place it in a transparent pot where you can see the roots. Don't throw away the old pot. We will use it for watering. It's more suitable for your orchid to be in a transparent pot, so you can monitor the roots getting light and track the watering time based on the root color. Don't water your orchid as soon as it arrives. There is a sponge in the middle of your orchid when it comes from the florist, and this sponge helps your orchid stay alive for a while. If you water your orchid a lot without removing this sponge, the flowers will wilt after some time. That's why you'll need to water based on the root color. If you water your orchid a lot without removing this sponge, the flowers will wilt after a while. That's why you'll water based on the root color. When the color of your orchid's roots turns from green to gray, fill the old porcelain pot with water and let the orchid soak in this water for 10 minutes. Let it soak up the water well. When you take it out, you'll see that the root color has turned green again. After pouring out the excess water, place it back in the porcelain pot and let the water drain. Then put it in the transparent pot and water it again when the roots turn gray. Make sure there is absolutely no water left in the pot while watering. Then place it in its transparent container and water it again next time when the roots turn gray. When watering, make sure there is absolutely no water left in the pot. Orchids bloom new flowers every 6 months. When the first flowers have wilted, remove the sponge while taking care of the roots. Mealybugs. If your orchid suddenly wilts its flowers, check the soil. It could be due to the soil being too moist and mealybugs that have spread from other plants. These mealybugs crawling on the orchid soil suck the sap from your flower, and your orchid will eventually die. I had prepared a video on how to clean this. You can watch this video from the link I'll add above and in the descriptions. Drooping leaves. If your orchid's leaves droop, how do you restore its former vitality? Chop 3-4 cloves of garlic finely. Transfer it to a jar filled with water. Crush 1 aspirin and transfer it to the jar. Let this mixture steep for 2 days. Fill the mixture you prepared up to halfway in the orchid pot. Don't fill it all the way, so when you dip the orchid in, the water is only at soil level. Put your orchid back in its old spot, and after a week, you will clearly see the change in the leaves. For this process, it's essential that the orchid has a lot of roots. It should be at least as much as in the video. If it has fewer roots, wait for 2 to 3 days instead of a week. Don't leave the remaining water in the pot, pour it out. Should it be in the sun? Never. Place your orchid in direct sunlight. Place it in a bright spot where it will receive sunlight through a sheer curtain. If you position it this way, the leaves won't burn and will stay vibrant. The leaves continue to nourish your flower, making orchids bloom. An orchid blooms every 6 months. An orchid that expends a lot of energy while blooming needs to gather energy to produce new flowers. During this period, you should feed your orchid to help it bloom. Place an egg in a container filled with 1 liter of water. Add 1 teaspoon of mustard powder to it and bring it to a boil. After boiling, let it cool. Strain this mixture. Add 1 cup of water to a cup of the eggshell and mustard powder mixture and dip your orchid into this water. Let it sit for 10 minutes. Then strain this water and pour it back into the old container. Chop 2-3 cloves of garlic finely. Crush 1 aspirin. Throw this into the water, and for the next watering, use this water. With this mixture, you will provide the minerals and energy that the orchid needs. Do this process once a month. Feeding through the leaves. Orchids love humid environments. In our homes, they often lack this humidity. If you want to have a healthy orchid, you can occasionally wipe its leaves with a damp cotton ball. A more effective method is to take a cup of freshly brewed tea and add it to half a liter of water. Fill a spray bottle and water your orchid, avoiding the flowers. Do this process once a week. After 3 weeks, you will see noticeable improvements. The composition of tea contains many minerals necessary for the development and growth of orchids. A large amount of nitrogen, potassium, and other elements will help the orchid roots grow quickly. Potato fertilizer. Another fertilizer that you should apply every 15 days is potato. Cut 20 grams of potato, blend it with 1 liter of water. Strain it and fill the spray bottle. Apply it once every 15 days for just 1 month. Wait for a month and then apply it again every 15 days for another month. The orchid will achieve its rapid growth from the cells in its leaves. Don't forget to spray under the leaves. Potato fertilizer will help keep your orchid healthy. In a short time, your orchid will be more vigorous. The calcium and potassium that the orchid needs for growth can be found in potatoes. It especially encourages the rapid growth of the roots. It contains a small amount of natural acid. This acid helps the plant recover quickly. It also cleans harmful fungi and insects. Apply it in the mornings so that the pores under the orchid leaves are open in the coolness of the morning. It absorbs minerals more easily, so make sure to spray under the leaves as well. Water especially in the mornings so that the orchid leaves dry by noon. This way the water dries up and it won't cause the leaves to rot. You can see that it will produce a new leaf within 2 weeks. If you follow these rules I've mentioned, your orchid will always stay lively and will produce a new flower spike every 6 months, blooming its flowers. You don't need to do anything else. If you want to watch other orchid care videos on my channel, you can check them out from the link above and in the descriptions. Share this video so that everyone can see it and leave a comment below. At least write a simple thank you or some feedback like a suggestion. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to support me. See you in my next videos.